Hi, Ben Osterhaus here. In this video, I'll be introducing piano repetitions. On a piano, it's interesting to make short sounds by touching the strings as you play or pecking the keys, and it's fun to do these kinds of things rhythmically. So I made piano repetitions to capture all these interesting piano transients and sequence them so you could have these lively piano ostinatos right at your fingertips. Certainly, you could take another piano library, put an arpeggiator in front of it, and that would kind of replicate what piano repetitions does. But sometimes it's nice to have the exact right tool for the job, and that's what my library is.
The main feature of piano repetitions is this trio of step lanes in the middle, which layer 3 different types of piano sounds together. The harmonics were recorded while touching the piano strings to get these bell-like tones. Damped were recorded, stopping the string from ringing at its base. Staccato is simply short notes, doing nothing to the strings. Each lane can be either transposed or tuned. Unless you adjust by octaves, this results in random chords, which isn't very useful. However, using the keysnapping, you could easily go from chaos to something much more interesting and useful. Another thing you could do is if you transpose one direction and then tune back the other direction, the resulting pitch stays the same, but the formant changes. This is a cool effect. So to make this easier, you can click the link and the formant shifting effect will happen automatically. Arpeggio behavior can be controlled on the bottom panel. Most of the arpeggio modes are fairly self-explanatory. Highlighting a few though, in step mode, each note you play advances the sequencer by one step. In a way, this turns the step editors into round-robin editors. In chord mode, if you play notes at about the same time, it will play all the notes of the chord for every step. It's nice to be able to change key snapping mid-song, and it is possible to right-click the key snap dots and automate them with CCs. This would be a painfully tedious way to change key snapping though. So to make it easy and convenient, I made it possible to set key snapping
by playing in the orange keys.
You can customize the sound more if you click the cog in the upper left corner. Expression simply controls the volume, pre-reverb, and delay. Resonance adjusts the volume of the convolution reverb, which uses impulse responses recorded from inside the piano. Punch affects the volume envelope. Turn it to the left to increase attack times and soften transients, and then turn it to the right to quickly fade out ends of samples so they sound extra percussive.
Round robins are rarely used in other Osterhaus sounds libraries. For piano repetitions, though, it was clear that they were needed. If you turn off all round robins except one and peg all the steps at 100%, it sounds pretty robotic. Using all 8 round robins, though, you'll hear how that pegged sequence has way more life to it. Clicking the shuffle button can add even more variation by choosing round robins randomly. The resonance round robins are different impulse responses recorded from inside the piano. When I set out to record piano repetitions, one problem I realized is that there's still a pretty long tail even when you play a short note. There's so much that resonates inside the piano, even with the pedal up. And if you chop off these resonances, it breaks the illusion that you're listening to a piano. In order to avoid having to record super long samples, I found a way to recreate the tails using convolution reverb and loading impulse responses taken from inside the piano. When used sparingly, it nicely fills in the gaps and covers up any unnatural fade-outs. One thing I didn't like about the impulse responses, though, is that they ring the same way every time. This is where the resonance round robins came in. I recorded separate impulses for low and high notes with 4 round robins each, then I made it randomly pick different impulses to send each note through. This results in a natural sounding resonance without the need to record super long samples.
Delay and reverb are fairly self-explanatory. They're used to create more variation between presets. It's nice to have them built in, but you'd likely be better off using your own reverbs and delays. Presets can be loaded as either snapshots from the contact header or as NKIs from the presets folder. In the presets folder, you'll also find accompanying MIDI files for each NKI marked with the recommended BPM. The MIDI clips show each preset off in a way that suits it well, and you could use the clips as a jumping off point for your music.
Well, that should give you a pretty good sense of what piano repetitions is, everything it can do. If you want to hear the library more, then check out the playthrough video. I should also mention, you may have noticed that my voice suddenly got higher and lower throughout the video. This is because I was sick, and one morning I woke up and I could sing a C 2 octaves below middle C, and I thought, whoa, this would be a time to record voiceover maybe. So that's what I did. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.